All right. Welcome back to the NPU podcast. This is the fourth episode now. I took a little bit of not a break, but there was planning and a lot of strategy that went into how I'm going to execute this podcast moving forward. I'm very excited today to bring on two guests, Treshawn Blair and Eddie Strong, two of my collegiate NPU athletes in my program for NPU University. These two athletes have joined over the past year, and I've been working with them on their one-on-one digital branding development, helping them with marketing, and now introduced their own NIL merchandise line through Nanfito Productions. Thanks, guys, for joining on tonight. I appreciate you guys hopping on, and I'm excited to kind of kick this off, man, for the NPU athletes and for the NPU program, man. Thanks for hopping on.
No problem.
So, yeah, man. Super excited, like I said, to get you guys on and give you guys a voice. A little different of a platform now. I transitioned from, you know, how I was doing the media before, and I'm trying out a remote podcast because I wanted to be able to cover a lot of ground. I wanted to be able to reach more athletes, and something I'll touch base on later is that network that I'm creating now is growing rapidly. We've reached athletes as far as Alaska, believe it or not. So, a little bit back to my athletes here. Treshawn Blair from Bristol Central High School in Bristol, Connecticut, and Eddie Strong from Middletown High School Blue Dragons and Middletown, Connecticut. Appreciate you guys coming on. Two athletes in high school that were, kind of rivals. I mean, they've seen each other a couple times, and every time Bristol Central played Middletown, there was always a good game. Even back to when I was playing at Middletown High. And I just want to thank you guys for hopping on and go over a little bit about your guys' story, how you've come up through the ranks, and what it's looking like for you now, transitioning into college, and going to that next step and playing at the next level. What the preparations looked like for you guys from here. But first, I want to go over each of your guys' careers a little bit. Trey, man, we call him Treshawn Blair, but he goes by Trey too. So call him that for the whole podcast. But Trey, man, Bristol Central, you guys gave us a game last year. I was behind the lens recording the game, and obviously you were playing a little quarterback. You were doing it all last year. And I know Eddie got you one time on the clip. I looked it back and saw that too. So Eddie was doing work at Middletown. So it was cool to see you guys rival off. And what was that like? A career for you, Trey. If you want to take it away, man, tell the audience, where you're from, a little bit of background on you, positions you played, and sports you played.
I'm Trey Blair from Bristol Central. I started playing football when I was 4 years old for the Bristol Bulldogs, and then just played throughout, and I fell in love with the game. I also played basketball since I was like 6, and I started track in high school. And yeah, that Middletown game, that was pretty fun. Me and Eddie had a pretty good rivalry that game, and it was definitely a fun game, all game.
That's what's up, man. And you touched base, multi-sport athlete. And Eddie was as well. What was what was that like over in Bristol for you being a multi-sport athlete, and how were you able to balance all of that in school, and what was that like now transitioning into college, like for you, having to say goodbye to those sports?
It was hard at first, but you definitely get used to it after a while, and it's just your work ethic. If you got the good work ethic, you could do anything, I feel like. And I feel like those three sports are gonna help me because like time management and stuff in the future. And I'm gonna definitely miss track, definitely.
Yeah, man, you had a unbelievable track season there. For quite some time, you were number one in the state for your respected categories, right? At
Yeah.
the time, were you thinking about pursuing, college track at all?
Yeah, it definitely was. I was going back and forth with my coach a lot, and they just said keep my options open. But football has always been my love, so I went with my gut.
Hey, I feel that, man. You know, gonna be a Golden Bear next year. That's repping the 413. Up there in Springfield. Shout out to the G Bears.
Yes, sir.
Former alum for audience that's listening in tonight. Played inside linebacker up there. It was a great time. So, camp season is no joke, man, and I'm excited for you to go through that. With Coach LeBeau, great program up there, and everything that he's been able to accomplish as a head coach and assistant coach. And I got to see him come up as a coach. So you're really in good hands there up at Western New England. I'm excited to see that. And we'll go into your career, what you're looking to do and whatnot. But I also wanted to introduce Mr. Primetime, Eddie Strong from Middletown, Connecticut. I wanted to introduce Eddie. Eddie is an athlete of mine that I've worked with for quite some time. A little background to the audience. Eddie was an athlete that I've worked with since second grade. I was a youth football coach before my college career. And, I coached Eddie from second grade all the way through eighth up until he went off to high school. And I knew he was going to be a special player, man. And I knew he had the talent to play from a young age. And, I saw that moving into his high school career and how he progressed. And he finally got there that senior year, man. You had an unbelievable season for the circumstances that you had there and the amount of times that you saw the ball. You want to talk a little bit about what your career was like and, the other sports that you did too.
What's up, everybody? Eddie Strong here. Football for me, I started playing ball like I want to say when I was in second grade. Yeah, second grade, so probably about 6 or 7. And it's been a journey throughout all the years. Tried many different positions or whatever. I started out as an offensive lineman, believe it or not. I was in the trenches a lot more, O-line, outside backer, or whatever. And then throughout the years, progressed, put other things, quarterback for a year or two. But as I got to high school, stuck it out at receiver, and there's been growing pains at receiver, but I got it. It clicked for me 10th grade once COVID hit, and I was able to work on my craft and perfect it. Came through after the summertime, made the varsity team, and it's been smooth ever since. But as far as that, other than that, I ran track in the spring, junior, senior year of high school. Made states as a sprinter and a high jumper actually. But football was always the one for me. I wasn't any competition at all. But that's all.
Yeah, man. It was pretty awesome to see, for those that know my production company, I started working with Middletown High last year, producing a lot of their home game videos, away game videos, doing like the content production. And seeing you kind of take off last year was awesome, man. Like being a part of that process, giving you that screen time that you deserve, man. And what you were able to do to get to college. That road, I knew it was a bumpy road for you to really navigate that process. And I knew there was a lot of stress there. But seeing you navigate that process was awesome, and seeing you get to that point, I was glad that I had a hand in that story and just helping you kind of think about things from a different perspective and getting that time to really just hone in on, playing ball at the next level. Cause that's, what you told me from day one was your goal. Right. And, I saw a lot of similarities with you, Trey, and that's why I was excited to bring you on, to this program, for NP University. It's, I think what we're building here is growing, and it's going to be growing for years to come. I've got a very, very long-term mindset with this program. You guys being the front runners of that story, while building your own story through the program. Right. And there was a couple podcasts that I looked back on, and I was, just really trying to put my finger on it, like what I was doing, right? Like what I was doing right, what I was doing wrong for the program. And that's why, I took this past month and a half or so to really kind of map out how I wanted to continue this podcast and what type of media source I wanted it to be for athletes, right? Something enjoyable to listen to for the average user, but also something that athletes can take something from, right? And how I incorporated that into the program was putting an emphasis on college guys like yourself, like right at that senior year going into, freshman year of college, giving you guys an opportunity to now, put work into a merchandise line where you can make money. Was important to me. Being a former college athlete, I understood the aches and pains of, not having a lot of money at school and just, having a grind, work my ass off, and to make ends meet, and have fun on the weekends and all that. But I really wanted to put a program that just was full suited, helped the athlete get to college and help the athlete, navigate that process. And I know, Trey, you kind of came on a little bit later in that process. You had already, I believe you had already committed for West New England when you joined,
Yeah.
right? And I knew that, I was starting the whole NIL sort of merchandise line, and I wanted to give you guys that opportunity first. So yeah, now that, speaking on that topic of just NIL and the way it's changed the games, you both have taken advantage of working with a couple different companies. I wanted to give you guys a chance to talk a little bit about how that process went for you. You work with Refend, I believe, right? Refend, or
Yeah.
Yeah,
and how'd you guys source that out for yourselves, and what's the process like for you as far as those companies go?
well, the process for me, it was kind of easy for me. It was I I saw an ad for sponsorship. Actually, it was like they said they were looking for ambassadors, I believe, and then I just shot my shot with the company because I'm like, okay, I'm marketable for them. I'm an athlete, so I did. I asked them if I was eligible for their um, ambassador role, and they were telling me, yeah, you can. But they were giving me all the rundown, and looking at it now, I probably should have done a little bit more reading into it. But it was just one DM, and they got back to me, and it happened from there.
Yeah, that was pretty much the same thing for me. I saw the little ad on Instagram. I DM'd them because I thought I would be a pretty good advertisement for them. And they just hit me back with all the details, and it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, so like working out those types of deals now is really what I'm also here for, is to help coach you kind of through those deals, right? Like you're gonna have, no matter what your story is as you develop in college, you're gonna have companies trying to reach out to you all the time, right? And part of the reason why I'm happy you guys are, in my collegiate program is you're going to get to work with a company who is in your corner from day one, right? And, I will take no profits from whatever shirts you guys sell. And that's just me being, I don't need my merchandise line to succeed with my company. I wanted to have that there as an asset, right? So we talk a lot about building a culture with our program, right? And I think that speaks to the program, is that I really want to try and put 100% back into you guys. Not, I don't want to take from what you guys bring to, the table as a college athlete, right? And that was something that I developed on my own. And I could have taken a percentage because it's, my merchandise line, but there's no need for me. You guys are part of the program. It's your story. And we're building that together. Right. Obviously the process for you guys was pretty long, right? Eddie, we'll start with you, man. Talk a little bit about what that final senior year was like coming out of Middletown for you. And as the process went on, the coaches and colleges you talked to, speak a little bit about what that was like for you.
Coming out of senior year in high school, boy, it was rough. It was rough. The main way I got recruited coming out of high school was really through Twitter. I started during the season a little bit. I would say no, actually, after our first scrimmage versus Bristol East, and this was, I think, September 1st. So after that, I had like 140 yards, 2 touchdowns. So I was like, you know what, let me just send this out to coaches or whatever. So yeah, after I took those few visits, the coaches, I guess they just stopped reaching out. So at that point, I was like, okay, it's do or die time. You know, it's either you send your tape out to everyone and see what they say, or you just pick from the options you have. And so I just started sending my tape out to everyone I could find, whoever was looking for receivers, and plenty of schools got back to me. That's
Yeah,
really
and that's that. After you were doing that, that was something that I was kind of preaching through the program is Twitter, 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 man. Twitter is your best friend, and as far as the recruiting process goes, and there's some stuff we'll talk about now that is very informational or very informative for the audience listening. But first, Trey, you kind of had a similar process to that, right? What was it like for you, and how'd you go about getting recruited from WNE?
So my recruiting process started probably the summer before my senior year. So like the end of junior year, I went to a few camps. I went to like uh the Bone camp and like a few other camps to try to get my name out there. I thought I did pretty good. And then I started reaching out to coaches like Eddie did on Twitter, started sending them to my tape and stuff, waiting for them to get back. And like he said, a lot of coaches weren't really looking for receivers or like the type of player that I was. So I just waited for the right school to hit me back.
Yeah, and you got recruited to WNE for corner, right?
Yeah, for DB.
DB. Okay. And Eddie, you're recruited for wide receiver too.
yes, I did get recruited for receiver.
Nice. So yeah, navigating that, you guys were, playing both sides of the ball. Did Trey at any point were you getting recruited for quarterback or not really?
No, not really. They were trying to put me at like running back and stuff. I might play a little bit of running back at WNE.
Nice. Yeah, Trey, also if you could like tilt your camera down a little bit. There we go. Just for clip purposes. But yeah, man. I mean, navigating that process for me coming out of high school, I was a fullback and a inside linebacker. I knew I liked inside linebacker more. But that was I did get, a couple different schools that were trying to recruit for fullback and halfback, whatever. So kind of navigating that process initially, I didn't really know what I wanted to go into college playing. So that's where I was coming from with that. But what I did want to touch base on that I feel is very informational and informative is there is a new Twitter setting that I'm not sure if you guys are aware of yet, but Twitter has a new setting in your DMs that it locks it to where only verified accounts could DM you. So for recruits that are listening to this, for high school recruits, for even guys still looking, navigating that process, a coach may not be able to reach out to you now because of the new settings on Twitter. So to navigate that, you got to go into your settings and switch it back to everybody that can DM you. So just want to get that on the line, but not sure if you guys are still hearing from coaches in any capacity. But yeah, I mean, you guys are well along on the process now. But so yeah, you guys are going off to college. Trey, when do you leave?
August 9th.
August 9th. That's in a couple weeks, man. What about you, Eddie?
August 2nd.
Damn, that's real soon. That's real soon. You guys are ready to go. So what has this process been like for you both? This off season, how have you guys attacked the workouts? Are you guys working with anybody? What has that been like for you?
Well, I've been working out with Coach Dean at Court 4. My guy, Coach Dean. I'm not sure if all our viewers know him. My guy, Kevin Dean. Him, a few older colleagues of mine, Dario Highsmith, Treshawn, James, Justin McMillan, De'Aaron Lawrence. We all get out together to the field, whatever. work on some receiver things, and then that's about it. Working the weight room and the actual craft. So, well, what more can I say?
That's it, man. That's good. I mean, all those guys that you named there, the audience that is listening probably does know who Coach Dean is because of the podcast that I did previously with him. But if you don't, he is the Core 4 trainer at Middletown High. Treshawn James was also on the podcast. He was the first episode. So you got a lot of good guys in your corner. But Trey, man, over there in Bristol, what have you been doing? Have you been working with any trainers or anything like that lately?
I've been hitting the field a little bit, like when I could, working on footwork drills and stuff and coverages. I hit the field a few times with Victor Rosa for the viewers that know him from Bristol. And I've been in the weight room every day, just trying to get bigger.
Yeah, man. Victor Rosa, quite an athlete over there at UConn. His brother, Nate Rosa, who is at Nate Shottam, his former teammate of mine, played up at Western New England with me. Kid's got great media too. I'm actually gonna probably reach out to him for this episode to see if he has any footage from that game that he took for you, or if you have any footage, in between you guys talking. I want to throw little clips in there. So, yeah. But yeah, Eddie, I was this year working with him a little bit on his media. But Trey, like over there in Bristol, like other than Nate, did you guys have anybody like really kind of in your corner helping you guys with like media stuff and how that kind of went?
We really just had Nate, but there was a few kids in our school that started like recording us and like our basketball team and stuff like that just for fun, but they did pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, you guys kind of see now, like probably from an outside perspective looking in, like how different the industry, even since like when you guys started high school, how it is now, and like, did that have a factor at all into, when you were looking at some schools, like when you were looking like how they market their players, what attracted you, Eddie, to Missouri Valley, and Trey, what attracted you to Western New England as far as what you saw?
Um, I'm not sure if. Well, actually, no, I take that back. I was gonna say I'm not sure if the media got like any of my attention because I actually do know a camera woman down there. She's gonna be getting some nice pictures of me at my games or whatnot. But it was really the coaches that got me to go to the school. It wasn't necessarily like what they had put out for their players.
I would say mine like kind of the same. It was the coaches, but it was also when I went up for visits, the players made me feel like a part of the team already. Like, and they made me feel like a family already there, and I wasn't even a part of the team.
Yeah, that's definitely huge. I mean, when you go onto a campus and you feel that family aspect, like, um, you know, Eddie, what was it like for you? Missouri Valley, that's far, right? You know, did they sort of feel that? Did you feel that same sort of family aspect when talking to the coaches? And have you connected with any of the guys down there in Missouri?
Um, Honestly, yeah, it was easy for me. It was like a lot of the guys that I had talked to from the school already, they just welcomed me in right away. I think his name was David. Yeah, his name was David. I'm not gonna try to pronounce his last name, but he definitely gave me some good advice about going to the school, and then the coaches. Shout out my guy, Coach Sergio Allen. He recruited me. He made it easy for me to get acquainted to everything. And everyone else I know, all the transfers coming in, they're also pretty welcoming as well. My roommate, who's another receiver, me and him, we're like this already. I haven't met dude yet, so it's just gonna progress.
Yeah, that's a good thing, man. Like Trey, what was it like for you? As far as the guys go, have you found a roommate for college yet? And is he playing football at all? Or
Yeah, I'm with another football player,
nice.
another offensive player. I don't know his position yet, but we've been in the group chats talking a lot, and I've been getting to know all the freshmen, all the incoming freshmen with me.
Yeah. So, speaking to the staff there at Western New England, Coach Connor Dunn, not sure if you've met him yet. He
Yeah.
was my former roommate. So he's doing a good job up there. And, seeing him progress, he played at South Windsor High School. Me and him were rivals back in high school. And then going into college, we were freshman year roommates. And it was pretty crazy, man. Like going into it, and like then we played ball, and it was awesome, dude. So like take every minute that you have and really try to make those friendships while you're young and in your freshman year. Um, there's definitely a lot of distractions that you're gonna see. And coming from me as a life coach too, like it's okay to have fun. Like there's such a stigma around college athletes and having to be so straight into the narrow, but have fun, man. Like enjoy the time there, make real relationships. That's what I'm trying to focus on now with this program is making those real connections, making those real networking opportunities happen for you guys. And I don't know if you guys feel that yet, but I'm really trying to emphasize on that as we go through with you guys and as we send you off to college, because ultimately your guys' role in this program is going to increase as you go. As far as mentorship goes, helping guys that were just like you navigate the recruiting process, talking to guys in high school that may be thinking about, okay, do I want to play D1 or D2 or D3 ball? Do I want to go NAIA? Should I go prep? Right? There's so many things to do. And another part of what I wanted to talk about was your guys' goals for the next year, right? Trey, going to Western New England, what's your year one goal? Where do you see yourself on that team? What kind of work ethic are you going to have coming into this season?
Yeah, I'm trying to go into camp gunning for everybody. I'm coming from the starting spot. I'm trying to outwork everybody. I always had that work ethic, and I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I think I could see it, I could see how dedicated you are. You're putting the work in, when no one's watching. So it's going to be really interesting. And me and Nate Shottam have been talking quite a bit. We have some things in the works that I think you guys up at Western New England are going to like a lot this year. So we have some cool ideas that we're going to propose, potentially working and collaborating together, and making some content. So I think Western New England would be a great place to start, right?
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see you take off there, man. And so Eddie, what are you thinking for Missouri? How you feeling right now? How's the body feeling? And what's your goal for year one?
My goal for year one, honestly, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but besides playing, because I know there's not going to be that many receivers better than me. Even if everyone was the top, we're gonna get there. We're gonna rep it out. But anyways, I want to get as much quality film as I can, so I can, have the option to maybe seek other routes. Maybe I want to transfer to a bigger school after year one, or maybe even year two. So I want to keep that open for myself. But
Yeah,
that's where you go.
yeah, man. I mean, especially this past year, I'm sure you guys saw how big the transfer portal was and the level of talent that was coming out. Like, we could thank the other Mr. Primetime for that. I would say he had a big hand in why the portal was so crazy this year, but it really opened up so many opportunities for athletes to pursue something after that first year, right? They proved themselves maybe on a special team, or they were working their butt off at a college and now they got something bigger, right? A lot of guys from Alabama transferring out and they're going elsewhere. There's so many new opportunities for athletes to really have an impact, and the portal really helps with that. So I'm a big portal guy, right? Like as far as like marketing goes, if you feel you have the talent to play at the next level, go for it, and I don't know, Trey, like obviously you got some work to do at Western New England, but I played with guys at Western New England. That guy went to Duke that I know, who's a lineman there right now. Another receiver I played with went to Villanova. And even we had a safety go to the CFL, played on the Calgary Stampeders. Shout out Bailey Devine Scott. And shout out to Jameer Sabrinus, who was NFL free agent for a while. A lot of guys that at the D3 level, you're going to see good football, man. Like I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be the first to tell you, we were the last team to do it. 2019, we won our 5th championship in a row. But the level of football at D3 is very, very good football. We played the following season. We played Stetson University, a D1 AA school down south. And yeah, they beat us by like 21 points, but we kept it a ball game with a D1 AA school. So that tells you right there that the level of talent, it's there, and that's D3 football. And Eddie, Missouri Valley, it's a D2 or is it NAIA?
It's an NAIA school.
Right. So you technically don't use NCAA eligibility through that, correct? I believe not.
Honestly, I'm not sure.
I believe you don't use NCAA eligibility because it's not in the NCAA. So again, opportunities come and go. And I think this was a great opportunity for you to just go play ball, right? Get your GPA up and have it be at a standpoint, the both of you have it be at a standpoint where you do have options, right? Like no matter what happens next year, you guys are going to go do your thing. And I'm excited to see you guys propel, man. I like to ask about the future goals and all that, but do you have any advice for up and coming athletes that might be listening to this right now that are going through the recruiting process and looking to get to the next level?
Sorry about that.
I would say just follow your gut and always keep that work ethic. Like if you think you could outwork that person, you could. So do it. Just always stick to your gut. Yeah, that's what I would say.
What about you, Eddie?
The most advice I can give is take it seriously from a younger age. For my younger audience and for maybe the junior or senior, I'd say get in huddle. Make sure you get all of your film together. Make sure you get everything right. And then definitely put in the time where the coaches aren't with you or nobody's around. Put in those extra hours. It doesn't come easy.
Yeah, man. I mean, being a former athlete myself, I'll tell you right now that huddle's huge. Get in the playbook. That was something that I learned very quickly at Western New England was the playbook was everything. And you could be the greatest athlete in the world. And if you don't know the playbook, then you're not going to play. And that's just how it was, but there's always opportunity to play on like special teams and stuff like that. But, really dial in and learn from a young age. Take advice. Be like a sponge, right? Something that I'm trying to preach to you guys about building this culture is being acceptive to new knowledge and learning and being able to be someone who's coachable. And I think that will help you progress as you guys go. And I'm excited to help you guys create this story for yourself, man. It wouldn't be my story without you guys, right? And I've said that since day one. This is a lot bigger than me, and having you guys be a part of this program, I'm super excited to have you take on this leadership role as a collegiate athlete in the NPU program. And I'm excited to see you guys grow, man. I want to help you guys make money. I want to help you guys make, deals and help you move in a right direction for yourself, for your future. And, I think you guys are going to be the forefront of a lot of great football to come, man. So I'm excited to see you guys do that. But other than that rivalry, let's touch base real quick on that, because we kind of got off topic there a little bit about NIL and all that stuff. You guys faced each other, what, twice or three times in your career?
Once through football, twice in track.
Yeah.
So there was always that rivalry a little bit, right? Like no matter where you were seeing each other, uh, what was it like in football? And then compare that to track. Like, what was that like facing each other in football?
It's crazy. So it was real intense for football, I would say, because for week of BC, I remember all week we was talking about number one. Talking about number one, it was like gotta stop one if we want to win the game. So, my boy Trey number one. So it wasn't any debate about it. He was the X factor player on his side of the ball. So wherever he was at, I needed to know where he was at every play. So definitely, when the game came, it was just like we was gonna get out there and compete. That's what it was all about.
Nah, facts. That week leading up, it was all about number 7. It was just Eddie at practice. So I was the best corner on the team, so I had to always guard him. And that's when I was playing corner junior. Yeah, I was playing corner like halfway through the season, and I switched to safety. So I was playing corner against him, and that's when he caught that little touchdown against me, that little one clip.
Yeah, the one clip that now your marketing guy was the guy that put that out. Oh man, nah, it was a good catch, and I mean, honestly, like it was a toe tap. He got you one play, but
Nah, yeah, it was definitely a good catch.
yeah, it was a good catch. But it was cool seeing that kind of rivalry play out. What was the difference like in track? Did you guys didn't compete in the same events, right? Or
Sort of kind of high jump, but it really
okay.
wasn't a competition for real.
Yeah.
I don't lie.
Yeah,
So
because the jumper, that was my stuff. He got it in the running, but I
yeah,
didn't really run.
gotcha. Yeah, man. I mean that was cool too. I mean, I got to go to that last track meet that you guys had, that invitational at Middletown High. And I got there a little late because I was doing a podcast that day, but I wish I had got there a little earlier to see some stuff. But yeah, man. I think it's cool that now you guys get to support each other, right? Like for so long, you guys were rivals and there was always a game plan to be against each other, right? What has it been like for you guys being a part of the NPU program now, having to kind of take that role of putting those rivalries aside?
It's been cool because like even in track when we would see each other, it's like a brotherhood now. We're a family, so we would talk, we would do everything. But then when it's time to compete, we compete, and then we're back to brotherhood. So I feel like the rivalry, I'm gonna miss it, but it's good to move forward.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna miss the competition. But nah, for sure. Once football ended, it was once actually, not matter of fact, once Trey signed on to be the MP athlete with us, it was over with. I mean, it definitely was like family. So it's real smooth from there on.
Yeah, man, it's been cool to see you guys come together in under this community now. Like I got so many plans for this program over the next 5 years as you guys progress throughout your college career. Um, you know, some things that I've got in the work right now. I'm working on an application. I'm trying to get you guys a platform that will allow you to communicate under one centralized platform outside of the group chats that we have. I'm trying to enhance the NP University aspect of it. So once we start, making more instructional videos as you guys take on that role in college, the plan is to do more stuff with you guys. So you guys kind of take on that mentorship, that leadership role. Because I feel like you guys got the right heads on. You're striving for success. And I think that you guys will make great role models for other kids that are trying to come up and go through the same process. And I'm trying to encourage that and trying to keep those long-term relationships through my NIL line, right? Like that's all a part of being a collegiate NPU athlete now is you guys get that merchandise line that 100% of the profits are going back to you. I don't benefit from that. I pay the cost and you guys get the difference in profits. So it's, that's perfect for me to have you guys advocate and be a part of the program. Gives you guys incentive. You sell one shirt, you get your membership for NPU free for that month, right? Like that's kind of how I have it set up. So it's like you really put in what you get, you know, and say you go viral for a clip that you get at school, and boom, you got 100 sales. Boom, you're making $1,000, right? Like it's as easy as that in the social media world that we live in today. So it's like once this program really gets to where I want it to be, right? Like I've got goals. I've, hit my 10 NPU athlete goal. I've got 3 of you guys fully committed to university. You two, and we have one that we're announcing very, very, very soon. I don't want to release it on the NPU podcast because I want him to have the opportunity to announce his commitment. But I'm super excited. We got 2 people going to prep school, Kaya Skeen and Chili White. Chili White is going to one of the top prep schools in the country. Their Big 10 schools are there at their practices. They've got crazy. It's crazy. Kaya's going to Putnam Academy down there in Putnam, and she's Putnam, Connecticut. She's got a brand new coach that's coming on from the WNBA. And then we've got 5 high school athletes right now, all getting looks from Brown University, from URI, from UConn, from and we're building that program, that camaraderie now, right? So as you guys grow with your media and grow with your brand of football, and however you guys navigate it, you're going to be a part of a program that there's other athletes just like you grinding who are, going to take on that same mentorship. So it's going to be, it's almost there, right? Like I'm grinding to make this thing work for you guys, because I know we've got good foundations. We've got good guys on board, and girl, soon to be more girls as well. We reached Alaska. I know I touched base on that earlier. A kid from Anchorage, Alaska hit me up, was like, I want to be a part of the brand, and we're still kind of sorting through all of the kind of criteria that I kind of sort out beforehand. Reaching guys down in Pennsylvania, reaching guys down in Florida, athletes in California even. So it's really, really taking off now. We're almost to that point where you guys are going to be, obviously developing at school and working hard, but you guys are going to take that mentorship, like I've kind of been talking about, is, every once a month, we're going to hop on a call, have our networking session whenever it could be. And my goal is to just keep building you guys up. And a part of that tonight was kind of getting the story of Eddie Strong, the story of Treshawn Blair, out to the world. So, I thank you guys for hopping on, dude. I think that was pretty good. It was cool to get to hear a little bit more behind the story of TB1 and E7, man.
Thanks.
So yeah, man, that pretty much wraps it up. Is there anything that you guys want to get off your chest or tell the audience here tonight that's listening?
Not that anything that comes to mind, for real. I mean, actually, I'd say, like I said earlier, get in the gym, get on the field, hours upon hours, extra work.
Yes, yeah. Start putting extra work now,
because it'll pay off, man. It'll pay off.
Definitely will.
Well, that was good, man. That was episode 4 of the NPU podcast. This podcast is sponsored by Nanfeeder Productions, LLC. We introduced a lot of things tonight. NP University just introduced its NPU NIL merch line with Treshawn Blair and Eddie Strong from Bristol, Connecticut and Middletown, Connecticut. I'm on a mission, man, to provide media and be a source and a resource for people in the Northeast and all over the country to have their story heard. And I think that this podcast, the way I have the format set up now, I think that opportunity is there. So I thank you guys for hopping on. And that was good, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jay.
No doubt.